All right. Good morning, everyone. Uh, Welcome to the early watch. Um, the night. Well, I don't have it listed as the Night Strike Takeover Edition, but that's what it is. Taking over for Jimmy this week. I wanted to sleep in, but no, I had to get up and do the early watch. So there you go.
The greatest show on gun channels in the morning.
I wouldn't say the greatest. I would say the only.
That would make it the greatest.
Well,
Also make it the worst.
that would also make it the worst. Yeah, let's not use these terminologies. Uh Anyway, so what do we got for today? What's going on with the news?
Not a hell of a lot, to be honest with you. Trump is
He's working.
he's working, yes. He's also latching on to shit that's just fucking stupid. Like just millions of illegal voters cost him the popular vote. Fuck it, you're president. Let it go.
I think he's just doing that so they ignore what he's actually doing and actually just harp on him. I think that's a misdirect tactic because Trump's done that kind of thing before with things.
I hadn't really considered that this morning, which is when I've heard all this bullshit. That could very well be.
He may just be riling them up just so they say something stupid so he can get them off the air.
He did say that if Chicago doesn't get a lid on the violence, he's going to send the feds in. The Chicago police, whoever they spoke to, said we'd appreciate any help.
Yeah, I don't see why it's so hard. Why we can't just send in the National Guard or, no offense, but the military in just to go and make sure that Chicago gets its shit straight. Because honestly, Chicago's had more gun problems than any other major city in the United States.
Well, the thing is that it's illegal to deploy American troops within her borders. And by that caveat,
even if it's to save American lives?
By that caveat, it is only legal to deploy the National Guard from the state level. So Illinois would have to do it. And we can't get our shit together enough to deploy a pack of fucking gum. We really need a governor like Jim Edgar who's got some balls. I got no kick against Bruce Rauner. I mean, he's Republican. He hasn't done anything really bad or good. Because, we have democratically controlled Congress here, or our Senate and House are democratically controlled. So Rauner can't really do anything. I don't know how the people of this state and this country expect to fucking get anything done when they elect groups that diametrically oppose each other. But as far as Trump sending in the National Guard, as far as I know, by law, he can't. Now, he could send in FBI, DEA, Homeland Security, but the military is prohibited from that.
Yeah. So he's doing stuff. It takes time to get some of these orders in. So I've noticed he's signing a couple orders a day. So eventually he may get around to some of the stuff we really want him to get around to that, we care about. But so far he's done Trump's done an all right job. Yeah, sure. He's maybe throwing a misdirect for the media with this whole illegal thing. But who knows where it's going to go?
Well, if he actually orders an investigation into it and wastes resources on a misdirect, that's going to be a problem. But
I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think
he
he
said he
cares
would.
enough. I don't think he cares enough about it.
But at any rate, it's not that big of a deal like they're making it on TV. So fucking what?
Yeah, it was just a comment made by him. It wasn't a whether he actually does the investigation or not. I don't think he cares because either way, he's still president. So he didn't get the popular vote. Oh well, it happens.
He's scheduled to move forward on the wall thing today, which I personally don't give a fuck about one way or the other. Wall, fence.
Because you're too far north.
G-Webs lives right there in Arizona, and he doesn't seem to care about the wall.
Yeah, I used to live there too, so I know.
I would much rather see him just add 1,000 more border guards to patrol the area.
You know, in some areas of the border, we have fences, but the problem is we don't have fences all along the border because there are some areas we just can't put fences, let alone walls.
Right. And he has doubled down on saying he wants a wall, not a fence.
Right. The problem is we're not China. We can't build long walls. All right, so let's get into some news.
Which really makes you wonder, why can't we build a fucking wall there in about 3 weeks when they built that fucker there without any kind of machine heavy equipment?
Because they had slaves.
Okay, I ain't gonna go there because it's way too racist.
It's not actually. That's how they built the Great Wall of China.
I was gonna refer to Mexicans.
Oh, okay. I wasn't the one being racist. You were. Okay, I got it.
That's why I said I ain't gonna go there because it's too racist.
Remember, everyone, Tony's the old senile guy of the early watch. So, you know.
My sardonic humor sometimes has no limits.
It has great limits. All right, good news and bad news time.
I'm trying to get shit squared away here so that I can open up the gun feed and look at. I did see a couple of things this morning that I thought were worthy of mentioning.
Did we talk about Florida yesterday?
Some.
What were we talking about?
The Democrat or two that want to introduce gun control legislation.
Yeah, well, we got some bad news. Because apparently SB 140, which is the open carry bill for Florida, well, they didn't get all the votes they needed from all the Republicans on the Judiciary Committee to send it to the Senate. One of the
that's not such a bad thing, though.
Well, it is because if they don't get open carry, it won't trickle down to South Carolina, and I won't get open carry.
No. What he's doing is he's resubmitting it in piecemeal instead of putting all the shit he wanted in one bill, which was the end of gun-free zones and all that shit together. He's going to piecemeal that. And introduce all that as separate bills.
Yeah, well, not in this one. they're saying open carry is dead in Florida again because of Senator Flores, because she is a Republican. She says she's a Republican, but she's from Miami, so I take it she's a rhino. So why the hell do we still have these type of people in our party? What the hell?
Well, of course we do.
If you're gonna be a rhino, go join the fucking Democrats. You're not a Republican. You're not helping the party. You're not following the line.
Most of these cocksuckers don't give a shit about following the lines. They give a shit about lining their wallets.
Yeah, I'd like to see an investigation on any rhino that goes against what the party line is. I would love to see investigations left and right. Hell, I'll even call for them.
Hell, I think every fucking politician in elected office should be investigated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because the system's so goddamn corrupt.
All right. So, what do you got today? Lay it on me.
Hang on a minute. I'm trying to bring up this freaking article that I was just referring to about the senator planning to break up his controversial gun bill.
All right.
While I'm waiting on that, there was a Secret Service agent woman who said on a post online somewhere, Twitter or some shit like that, that she would rather go to jail than take a bullet for Trump.
Well, then I hope they can get rid of her then.
Then she recanted later. Well, I'm agreeing that she should be gone. You know, you've already said enough to put doubt in people's minds that you won't do the job you're hired to do. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
The author of a controversial proposal that would broadly expand how and where people can carry guns said Tuesday he is breaking up the measure. Senate Judiciary Chairman Greg
Stube
said he still intends to advance each smaller piece of his proposal. No, that's it. He said he intends to advance each smaller piece of his proposal, SB 140, which includes allowing people with concealed carry licenses to openly carry handguns in public and carry firearms in college and university campuses. So that's where that's at. He's not giving up on it, basically.
I want that.
Well, and it's a smarter idea to try to push it through, if you got a concealed carry, you can open carry by itself and not have carry on campuses added to that.
Right. Teachers, if you can't even get the base open carry passed in one committee, I guess you're not getting it passed anywhere else. So.
Another rep down there has introduced an alternate version of the campus carry thing, which Scott Clacton, a Republican from Longwood, introduced the House version of the campus carry measure, HB 6005. Also, Representative Jake Rayburn, Republican from wherever the fuck he's from, somewhere in Florida, has proposed a bill, HB 6001, that would allow people with concealed carry licenses to bring guns into airport terminals.
Right.
The House, fucking pop up. I'm trying to read shit here. The House overwhelmingly approved bills during the 2016 session that to allow people to openly carry guns in public and carry them on campuses. So the House is already there on that.
Yeah, I don't see what the problem is. What the problem with open carry is.
I really don't have any idea.
It seems to me that they're just anti-gun to be anti-gun because they're assholes. There's probably more to it, but that's how I feel. You all right?
Not particularly.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm going downhill fast.
At any rate, that Florida gun bill is not dead yet.
Yet, keyword there.
Well, you have to add that caveat when you're dealing with politicians because you never know what these goofy fuckers are going to do.
Right.
Alaska lawmaker proposes a gun bill after that airport shooting. Now, these bills like this worry me because these are bills along the lines of what California and Washington and some of the states have enacted where they can do, like family members can get guns removed from people's possessions by saying they're a danger to themselves or others, or they skirt due process.
Right.
And I am completely opposed to anything that skirts the due process.
You shouldn't skirt due process. You should follow due process.
I mean, if you think this fucker's mentally unstable and you have any sort of proof of it, they should be able to force them in for an evaluation, perhaps.
Yep.
But anyway, her last line in the article is, you definitely have to come at this from all angles.
No, you don't.
Now, I don't know if she's talking about mental illness or gun control.
She's coming at
really clear in the article.
She's only coming at it from one angle. Why do you have to go from all if you're only going from one?
Now, her bill says it would let immediate family members or police seek protective orders against those believed to be a danger to themselves or others by having access to a gun. Type of order, a person could be barred from having or attempting to buy a gun or ammunition from 3 days to as long as 6 months. Though it could be dissolved earlier. The only people that should have a right to take your rights away are the courts. Period.
Here's a tidbit that I saw. Former Border Patrol agent charged with possessing a homemade silencer and machine gun parts. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
So that means, if you have those parts and you aren't, active in the Border Patrol or law enforcement, then yeah, you're kind of screwed because you're not supposed to have those parts.
Speaking of,
Well, this guy also had drugs,
There-
so
oh yeah, he had a college kid make up parts.
yeah.
According to something I read this morning, there is a case where the ATF has considered an or to be a machine gun.
But it's
by
not.
Things it has on the receiver. It has a fake pinhole in the part of the receiver that mimics what a full auto is, I guess. I don't know that much about the things. But this was just like some thread somewhere, so I don't know the particulars of it. But it said the gun was cosmetically altered to look like a full auto, but the hole for the pin can't be used. Okay? That is a bad precedent, actually. But it comes from two threads on ar15.com, so I can't verify the validity of it. But it certainly sounds about right with the way things go in law enforcement the past 8 years.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Is there any other thing? Is there anything in the news that's interesting that isn't going to make me fall asleep?
Well, there probably isn't nothing short of potent chemicals that can keep you from being sleepy.
Well, I took one of my allergy pills, and yeah, I may fall asleep.
Hang on, this is new. It's the headline, and I'm trying to open the page. It says former felon with restored gun rights saved trooper in Arizona ambush. I guess it's that guy that got shot in both ears.
What? Where?
The dude that was on the news a few weeks ago for saving that Arizona state trooper who was getting beat.
Yeah.
He evidently was a felon that had his rights restored.
Well, in that case, he if that's true, then he did the right thing, did he not?
Yes, and that's kind of goes along with my thinking that felons should, when they get their damn crime is up and the whole deal of the court systems, probation or whatever the hell it is done, they should get their rights back.
Time served.
Well, if they're still on probation or parole or whatever, no. But when their dealings with the court on that particular felony was done, if they've got nothing else, they should get their rights back.
If provided they don't do anything wrong again. A lot of the problem is the Democrats are the one that takes away the rights of the felons, and then they always take the felon's side. But the point is, they're also the ones that are trying to take everyone's guns, not just one or two.
Sorry, I'm kind of skimming through the article here. Yeah, it's that guy. He says the trooper had responded to a vehicle rollover and saw a man and woman ejected from the vehicle. As Anderson approached the man, an illegal alien, who used to be a federal Mexican police officer named something that I ain't going to say, fired a handgun and hit him in the shoulder. Then he began slamming his head into the pavement, trying to kill him. Why in the fuck would he do that if he had a gun? Dumbass. The former felon, who is a good Samaritan in this case, saw the attack as it took place, pulled over and grabbed the handgun he kept in the console and ran to help the trooper. When the bad guy refused to stop attacking the cop asked for assistance, and the good Samaritan guy, shot him. Well, okay.
I don't know if it states in that one, but the cop did call for assistance.
Do what?
The cop did that. In that case, the law enforcement officer did yell for help in that situation.
He did ask for help, according to that article.
Yeah. Some of the articles aren't saying that, but he did ask for help. So if he's getting attacked and he asked for help, you should probably help him if you have the ability to. I mean, I would.
Well, if you're not willing to help in a situation where you can, what the fuck are you carrying the gun for?
Yeah. Really. Not that I'm carrying a gun with me, but if I could help in some way, I would.
Well, you carry one in your glove compartment, so that's what he was doing. He was carrying it in the console.
Yeah, that's probably what he was doing. But in
That's
Arizona, it's legal to open carry. In South Carolina, and I don't think I could get away. I don't think I would get that situation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't open carrying either. He had it in the console.
Right.
But if you see an attack happening, I would assume, are within your rights to grab your gun out of the console and go out and see if you can help the cop.
Right. So that's good. It's nice to hear some good things happening in the world. Not many, but some.
Oh, there's a lot more good these last couple weeks than there has been in a while. It just doesn't receive much coverage like bad does. I mean, let's face it, it works on both sides. Scaring people sells shit.
I did hear that one of the NRA spokeswomen got into a Twitter battle with Shannon Watts the other day.
That's Dana Lash.
Yeah, Dana Lash. She got into a Twitter fight with Shannon Watts. I thought that was pretty funny.
But she really didn't get into a fight. She only replied one comment.
Who?
Then somebody else jumped on board. Lesh.
Yeah.
She basically said, it's sad that you're focused on my looks. Oh, maybe she said two comments because she said, I live in your head rent free.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's new.
Oh, let's see this here. I didn't read this one. MSM says new gun law allows you to shoot anybody you want for any reason.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's false.
Well, it doesn't. Illinois' gun laws doesn't say that. They put a couple of restrictions on who you can shoot and why.
They're just doing that. They're just putting stuff out there like that so people get arrested. So they can get rid of gun people.
The thing that I question about our gun laws is that it says if they're forcibly entering your house, you can consider that a reasonable threat against your life because they're forcing their way in and they're assumedly prepared to deal with occupants. What happens when the cops show up with a no-knock warrant, break in your house, and you start blasting them?
10 to 20, that's what happens.
Do what?
10 to 20 years, that's what happens. Because that only applies to criminals. It does not apply to law enforcement.
I mean, for one, I have a dog in the house, and if somebody hits the front porch, the dog's going to bark. But you hear somebody starting to knock down your door, especially if they're doing a no-knock on the wrong freaking house or something where you have no reason to expect cops are going to be kicking your freaking door in. He starts trying to batter my door down, I ain't going to shoot through the door. But as soon as that door comes open, and it ain't some little kid in a dress with a freaking sledgehammer, I'm going to start blasting away. Maybe even if it is a kid with a sledgehammer.
Well, that's why you're going to get that Ruger Super Red Hawk, right?
9mm shoot right through these metal doors.
Ah.
No problem.
I guess they don't feel as lucky as they look.
Hell no. You know how much it costs to shoot a 44 Magnum one time?
I know. I'm just giving you shit. It's not cheap ammunition, I'll tell you that. Though they've got a version in 454 Casull, so I'm thinking about that one.
That's just more than I need.
Not really. Not more. Just, more of the same.
I need a handgun that does 500 foot-pounds muzzle energy. That's it. To comply with law. Otherwise, I'd be out there with fucking 9mm.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm trying to open this damn link.
Wow. Apparently, the Dow Jones is in the green this morning. Instead of in the red.
Damn.
Excuse me, I got to use the proper business terms. The Dow Jones is in the black today instead of always being in the red. Those are proper business terms.
Okay.
And apparently it's, because of Trump. Well, if that's the case, awesome. If it's not the case and it's just a coincidence, well, hey, it's the stock market, Well, what do we have to say?
All those freaking big money financier buyer thingies like Romney was capital venture things, I should say, are fucking destroying products of this country.
I have a couple stocks, so let's not go into that too much.
Hey, you look at the gun industry, and just what capital venture has done to that.
Well, the issue,
Winchester's all but freaking gone. Remington,
we don't
they're
talk
still
about
there.
Remington because of Freedom Group.
That's it, exactly. Freaking venture capital.
Yes, I have stocks. No, I am not invested in the gun manufacturing area of stocks. Yeah. I usually, when I do stocks, I usually put my money in technology and food because, well, technology is always going to get better, and food is food. Come on. And no, I'm not giving you anybody tips. I'm just telling you what I do. And more often than not, I'm not making money. I just get ahead. It's more or less even. I don't lose any money, but I don't make a lot of money either. Maybe a couple cents here and there. But the issue is, I figured I might as well own a couple stocks while I can, instead of not owning any and not being able to own any later on.
Well, now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not hacking on the stock market. That's not what I mean to say at all.
Oh, I know. I'm
I'm
just
talking specifically about venture capital investing, which takes money from people who have absolutely no interest in the product that they're looking at the end, and buys up whatever they can buy, and they funnel it all down to the lowest common denominator to make the most money, and it's fucking destroying product in this country.
I thought venture capitalism was just for startups.
I don't think so. I mean,
Because as a startup business, you only have so much money, and you need more money in order to expand. And you look towards venture capitalists to help you expand your business while selling them a piece of that business in the process.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's, if you're looking to expand or make money, you can sell out to them, be it new or established, because Bain Capital bought Guitar Center, and I think a couple of other of the big ones,
Right.
music retailers. And look at what venture capital did to Harley Davidson.
Well, I would argue that it's Harley Davidson's own fault in the first place too.
Well, they did, the AMF bought them out in the late 60s and just about fucking killed them.
Yeah, why did a bowling ball company buy him out? Or a bowling company, because that's what AMF is.
I could speculate, but it would just be pulling shit out of my ass. I don't know. It's they bought the name. And until Harley Davidson got bought back by the employees back in the mid 80s, they were fixing to die.
Oh, there's American Machine and Foundry. There we go.
Now, how did American Machine and Foundry get into making fucking bowling pins?
Don't ask me.
I'll be right back. I gotta make some coffee or get some coffee.
I just know that they made bowling balls and they had bowling centers. That's all I know. All right. So, what else is going on in the world? I'm gonna do a check, so bear with me. Uh, hmm. Mm-hmm. No, not seeing anything interesting, except that they're still protesting in D.C. Good job there, kids. Protesting in D.C. Or yeah, good job. Uh, yeah, this happened yesterday, but I'm going to talk about it. But apparently, they confirmed Nikki Haley, and I'm concerned about that because uh, she is my governor, and if she goes and becomes an ambassador, uh, we get a lieutenant governor, and his NRA we get him as our governor, and his NRA rating isn't as high as Nikki Haley's. And yes, it's a 5 point difference, but when you go from like 100% to like a 95%, that makes me worry. Just well, yeah, it's still pretty positive. The issue is, I worry because he may decide that he's not going to go and sign a an open carry bill or a constitutional carry bill that goes on his desk if it ever gets through the South Carolina government, which I doubt. But in the event that it does, I would hope he would support it. But at the same time, I don't know.
Who's supporting what?
Um, I was just talking about the Nikki Haley thing, and the fact that the lieutenant governor right now, his NRA rating isn't as high as Haley's. If she's got like an A+, whereas he's got like an A-.
So what stuff doesn't he support?
I I can't find anything, but at the same time, why is he a 95% rating as opposed to 100?
Maybe he just hasn't done anything.
Maybe. I mean, that may be why he's 95. But the issue is, it makes me worry because I don't know where he stands as far as like open carry or constitutional carry in South Carolina. And whereas Nikki Haley said she would sign a bill like that came to her desk, this guy hasn't said anything of the like, and I don't know whether he is for or against the Second Amendment. And that's kind of important to me.
Well, I'm fairly certain that he would be for it in some respect because NRA gave him a 95% rating. Because
Right.
if they don't know, they will say they don't know. Or if they're not, in the case of Mark Kirk here, who is a Republican, so he said,
So he said,
got a F-. He got a lower rating than Tammy Duckworth, the Democrat liberal.
really?
Yep.
That's not good.
He didn't get elected neither.
Well, good.
Worse than being a Democrat's being a Republican who's really a Democrat and lies about it.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
What
Let me throw
touch back on this venture capital thing. I'm not opposed to all forms of it. It just seems that the big ones that like Freedom Group and the like are hurting the product. You know, hell, that's how Winchester started. Basically, Oliver Winchester bought out other patents to get started on the Winchester or the Henry.
Right. Well, some of it's good, some of it's bad. You know, some have ulterior motives, some don't. And yes, it's the same AMF that have bowling centers and make bowling ball parts, and just
Also made bikes.
bowling. Yeah, they owned, you know, Harley Davidson at one point. So my grandfather used to be a volunteer bowling instructor.
Really?
Yeah, really. He was very well into bowling. So is the rest of the family.
Most of my family, except for myself, was really into it.
Yeah. My grandfather loved it.
They went to leagues and shit 3 nights a week, and I just went up there to hook up with chicks, but bowling really didn't appeal that much to me.
Yeah. I mean, my grandfather loved it, and all my aunts and uncles bowl, so
Oh, that was what it was for me. Is all my aunts and uncles were really into it. Now, my grandparents never did it that I know of. My mom wasn't into it at all. She was just a boozer. But the aunts and uncles, man, that was, like I said, there's 3 or 4 a week bowling league nights. You know, they were at the bowling alley all the time back when you could buy beer there.
yeah. Yep. I'm sorry to go on a tangent on bowling, and it's just you mentioned Harley Davidson. I do remember someone saying at one point that they were owned by the company that did bowling parts and bowling centers. So
I think, well, you know, Harley started out as a bicycle company. And then
right,
at the end of Harley Davidson's actual run as a private company, or, you know, as Harley Davidson in its original iteration, they got bought out by a bicycle company, which is what AMF was.
at the time.
Yeah, because they made bicycles, and it was kind of the joke of the day. You know, they started out making bikes and went back to it at the end. But I mean, you can look to Remington as a prime example of what's the bad side of venture capital or that sort of thing, because they have certainly fucked over the gun industry pretty good.
Yeah,
Hopefully, like Harley Davidson or Gibson Guitar, the name is strong enough to survive the whole uh, corporate merger bullshit era, and somehow they get bought out by an enthusiast who wants to see the product survive.
hopefully.
I mean, it's worked so far for Harley Davidson and, like I said, Gibson guitars. But that's because they were iconic names. Well, Remington's pretty iconic too, so hopefully they can weather, but it isn't going to save the other little companies that are not even little, the other companies that the group has absorbed, like Marlin and H&R.
Hmm. Steven's got a link for us. He wanted us to talk about the SNL writer that sent out that tweet about Trump's son.
America's first school shooter. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the link. So, SNL writer suspended for Barron Trump tweet. Writes apology. It was inexcusable. Well, yeah, it was excusable, but only after you get suspended for it. I think you should have lost your job. There are some things you do and some things you don't do. Okay, did we complain and make jokes about Reagan's kids? No, these kids were gone by that point. Did we make jokes about any other president's kids? No.
Lyndon B. Johnson's daughters. There was the monkey comparison for Barack Obama's kids. Yes, it does freaking happen.
It does happen, but it doesn't. It's not supposed to happen in the media.
It shouldn't happen.
And I think he should have gotten fired, not suspended. But remember, it's the media, so they're not going to suspend someone who says something wrong. They're not going to fire someone who says something wrong. They're just going to suspend him until they feel that he has learned his lesson. Which at that point, what the fuck?
If they fire him, they can immediately go get unemployment. If they suspend him, they can't.
Right. But yeah, that whole situation is bullshit. You don't attack someone who didn't run for it. He wasn't running for president. His father was. So I don't know.
The president's kids should be off limits, with the exception of like stuff when the Bush daughters were going to college and partying their asses off. Maybe you can report on bad shit that they do, but as far as making in the butt of jokes and ridicule and shit, no.
I mean, he's 10 as opposed to, in high school.
And it's like with the Bush daughters going to college and partying. Big fucking deal. Everybody went to college and partied.
This is true.
Or the majority did.
I went to college.
I went to college, but I was older, well beyond that party age by then.
Yeah, well, I didn't finish. So let's just put it that way.
I didn't either, because the whole computer thing had really freaking died by the end of my first semester. It basically fell apart.
Yeah.
I mean, when they started offering HP computers at Staples for $300, the thought of building them and selling them just went out the fucking window.
And she didn't lose her job. She just got suspended. She should have lost her job. That's for damn sure. Yeah, you shouldn't make fun of children in national limelight because, one, they weren't the one running for president. Two, they have to live with him. And three, it's not your place. Unless it's your kids, don't make a comment about somebody else's kids unless it's warranted. And this is unwarranted.
As far as dogs go, yeah, dogs should be off limits, even though they do a lot of goofy shit. Cats, there should be a bounty on them cocksuckers if they ain't mousers. Now,
I don't know.
Person here, just in case you can't tell.
Yeah, really, I couldn't figure. I've got a cat. He's pretty cool. I mean, before we let him stay inside all the time, he used to bring mouses and birds to our front door. So, showing us what he got. So
I don't have issue with the cat that does a cat's job, keeps the rodents out of your house. But when you get a house like what we got here, we got 3 or 4 cats around here, and I still got mice in here that I can shoot with my freaking BB gun. These cats ain't doing their freaking job.
well, they have to see him, and those mice may have gotten really smart and decided, you know what, I'm not going to run around when the cat's around.
Fucking dogs do better about killing them than the cats.
Yeah.
So if it moves, the dogs will chase it and catch it and play with it.
Since suspended indefinitely does not mean fired, Stephen. Suspended indefinitely means she's suspended until they decide they're going to unsuspend her.
Right. Which could be tomorrow.
Could be tomorrow. It could be 6 months from now. It's usually the terminology is suspended indefinitely until further notice.
That is a good ploy to get them to not be able to collect unemployment insurance right away, though.
Yeah.
That's one of those tricks that employers use for years. Like, you might as well quit because I'm going to fire you. Well, let them fucking fire you.
They may not be willing to just fire her or lay her off right away, just because the factor that remember, a lot of these companies are businesses themselves, and it doesn't make sense business wise for them to kill a contract for something she said out off the job.
Well, not there. It is right there. Contract. They may not be able to fire her because she's under contract to them without having to pay her a huge sum of money. So they can just suspend her until the contract's done.
And suspend her until the contract's done, and then either fire her or say, well, you can come back.
If her contract runs out, she's done.
Yep. So, anyways, what time is it?
10 p.m. or 10 a.m. your time.
Yeah. I'm going to go get some coffee. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm hanging here.
If anybody's got any news, send it Tony's way.
Chelsea Handler is not somebody who even deserves any fucking attention. The first lady's not going to be interviewed by her, so who the fuck cares what Chelsea Handler says? I've watched her show a grand total of 1 time, and I thought she was a fucking moron. A liberal moron, I should say. And I don't want to waste my freaking energy on the woman. Let me flip open a news page here and see if there's anything interesting popping up yet. That's what I said. I watched that show 1 time and no more. Brennell's now sells guns. Okay, I already knew that. Nope, there ain't nothing new on that one. Did everybody see the pictures or video of the one Trump bodyguard that was walking kind of behind him to his left that had fake hands, evidently? That kind of surprised me that they would do something that was that easily picked out. Yeah, with the fake hands that were stuck together. That seemed a little bit of an obvious fake. But I suppose if it was just you standing there, and I suppose if you're just standing there watching it go by, you might not notice so much. I mean, when you look at a picture that it's pointed out in, yeah, it's really freaking obvious. But it was interesting to think about what these people are, their ideas are for protecting the president. I mean, there's a bunch of speculation about what he's carrying. Hell, he may have been carrying a freaking Laws rocket underneath his freaking coat for all I know. But it just strikes me that the shit that the media is picking up on sometimes, I don't know. MSN. Anything new on MSN? Yeah, she needs to be terminated from employment. The lady who said she wouldn't take a bullet at Trump, she'd take a bullet for Trump. She'd better go to jail. And then she recanted it. She said it on a post in December, and then she recanted it and apologized and all this. But she's already blew her credibility. And even if she's sincere about recanting, she's not trustworthy to protect the man anymore. So she needs to be gone from the position. The Standing Rock Sioux says we can't back down now on the pipeline fight. Not to be mean, people, but when the Native Americans have stood up against the government in the past, it has not ended well. Granted, they did kick shit out of Custer, but by and large, it does not end well. So be careful of how much standing up you're willing to do. Former Labor Secretary Tom Perez said Tuesday that Democrats should give President Donald Trump as much respect as former Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell gave to President Obama. I don't know. I just read the damned headlines. There has to be a freaking way to build this pipeline that doesn't fuck them over.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Anyway, the former Labor Secretary said that they should give Trump as much respect as Mitch McConnell gave to Obama. That's really signaling a willingness to work. to try to compromise and whatnot. So that's, I just disagreed with their actions to uphold the Supreme Court nominee for Obama from getting voted on, because I thought that was just freaking obstructionism. I mean, he wasn't going to get it, no way. So why not vote? Now these fuckers are wanting to basically eye for an eye type thing. This is why our system is not working like it should.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
don't have any feelings one way or another about these pipelines, except for the jobs would be a good thing. I don't have a vested interest.
And it's also not going to lower any prices on fuel whatsoever.
Right. If it's not going to lower prices on fuel, I don't give a shit. But there's got to be a way to put that damn thing in that doesn't screw over the Native Americans. I mean, fuck, we built a pipeline from Alaska to... There's 10,000 jobs to build the goddamn thing.
And that could put a lot of Americans to work. So, at least that's how I see it. I mean, it may only be in one field, and it's okay, that's maybe one field. But, you know, I look at it as a trickle-down theory. You know, you try and get people working in this field. Then you go to this other field. You try and get them working in this other field. You try and get people working in this other field. So eventually, you've got all these diverse fields of areas of the country that are hiring people for jobs. You know, eventually, that's gonna help the economy. One, two, people are going to be working again. We're going to be doing something that matters in our country again. Working, building.
Yeah, even temporary, if it's for a year, that's a year that you're not either A, doing without everything, or B, on living on assistance. And hopefully the money that enters the economy through that spurs more growth. And when this job's over, something else
So
has opened up. You know, we've got to start somewhere.
we do.
And it ain't fucking McDonald's, which is what all these millions of jobs Obama created, these fucking minimum wage jobs that are not able to sustain a family. Upping the minimum wage to $15 an hour isn't going to fucking do it, because I won't be going buying no $7 Big Mac.
No kidding. If the Big Mac goes above $5, I ain't buying it.
Piss no, only Hardee's Monster Thick Burger is worth more than $5.
That's my point. That is my fucking point. You know, if I'm gonna go to McDonald's, I'll just get, you know, the McDouble and be done with it. You know. But yeah, Hardee's has this classic burger that it's almost like a Big Mac. Have you tried that yet?
Oh yes, I've tried about every hamburger Hardee's offers except for a mushroom and Swiss, which I can't stand.
Yeah. Now, Tony, let me ask you something. You've been all over. You've been in a couple states. Have you ever been to a Carl's Jr.?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you think of the Western Bacon Cheeseburger?
I never really had one that I can remember. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute, that was like a bacon cheeseburger with barbecue sauce, wasn't it?
And they put an onion ring on top of it instead of normal onions.
Yeah, those are all right.
Yeah.
Carl's Jr. had great freaking fried chicken.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, see, our Hardee's here used to be Carl's Jr.'s.
Yeah, yeah. Hardee's used to be Carl's Jr.'s. Years ago, Carl's Jr.'s bought out Hardee's. This was like the mid '90s. I think it was either the early or mid '90s they bought them out. But what some people don't realize that have lived in northern states or states where they only have Hardee's and they don't have Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr. Their signature burger is a Western bacon cheeseburger. Okay, it's where they take a bacon cheeseburger, they put barbecue sauce on it, and they put an onion ring on it. A giant onion ring instead of just regular chopped onions or caramel onions or anything. They put a giant onion ring on it, and it is delicious. It's my favorite burger. The problem is.
I mentioned the hamburger or the Big Mac only as an economic statement. I wasn't trying to.
I know. We're going to double back around, so just let me finish, all right? The problem is here in the the eastern part, you can go to a Hardee's, but they won't make you a Western bacon cheeseburger. They used to, but they stopped doing that kind of thing, 2 or 3 years ago. So that made me sad because I can no longer get a Western bacon cheeseburger. Okay, now as we were talking about this, you were talking about how the you're not going to pay for a cheeseburger that is $7 when it's $5 right now for an entire meal.
No, I said I wasn't going to pay $5 for a Big Mac. I was specific.
Oh, just for the sandwich itself?
That's right.
Yeah. So.
Now, as far as you guys are talking about renewable technology, I got no dispute about renewable technologies, wind energy and solar, but it has to be able to stand on its own. We cannot falsely prop it up because that does not work.
I'm also down for hydro as well.
I'm down for nuclear. They work.
Yeah, well, you know what hydro is, right? It's the process of running water through some sort of device that that powers a generator. It's kind of like the same technology they use for dams, but they have these hydro generators which you can literally put in small streams, creeks, and small rivers, and run a house or two off of those, depending on the size. And here's the thing. I have a nice creek that runs off into a river behind my house. It runs all along my property. I've been thinking about getting some of those hydro generators that kind of float on the water and passively power.
Why the hell would you do that?
Generate power
over wind? Why would you do that over wind?
Well, you don't just divest in one. You do multiple. So what I was thinking of doing is I have the space. It's just the equipment is expensive. Okay, that's the whole thing. Doesn't matter whether it's hydropower, wind power, or solar panel. But what I was thinking, to power my house, I would probably divest into wind, hydro, and solar power all at once, because right there you can literally power a whole house with that.
A buddy of mine down in Missouri built him a cabin, and this is a 2-story small house basically. And because it was going to cost him like $10,000 to get electric run to it, he set up a solar system. He's got like 4 deep cycle batteries and solar panels and an inverter. And he runs that whole place on that all the time. I mean, and he's out there every weekend at least. And after seeing that work like that, I'm considering the solar and wind route myself. I'm not in a position here to do hydro, so that's not even something I've looked at. But it can work, and it can be worthwhile to do.
Yeah, and this creek, this stream that goes along, the front to the back of my property into that river on somebody else's property, it's always flowing. It's always running in one direction. So I was thinking maybe get some of those smaller hydro generators, and putting them at points all along the property that generate power, and then just wiring them to one main building that does the power the power storage, like backup batteries and whatnot, and just running it off of that.
Yeah, that's kind of what he did, except his is solar. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. If me and the old lady if I get on disability and get a settlement, which I should, we go down there to set up a place. I'm going to set it up as solar and wind powered and not have outside source electricity at all.
Yeah, but you're still going to need one thing. You're going to need internet.
You can do internet without having to be on the power grid. I haven't looked into it down there. I don't know what options are available. I mean, other than people using phone, I don't have any idea.
Okay.
Basically, I'm looking at what some people would consider boonies. I'm talking about living some miles outside of the big city of 100 people. So, we're talking 75 miles south of St. Louis. And I just don't know what's there. I haven't looked into it. I know in the towns there's stuff, but I don't know if there's stuff available. We have wireless here that used to be called DTN, or before that it was the Farm Data Network. That works pretty well. And I'm assuming they have shit like that down there. It's what I would do.
I see.
I was doing the ham radio setup before the internet became popular. They called it packet radio at the time.
So would you just use your cell phone for your internet and be done with it like you are doing now, or would you do something else?
I don't know. If I could get a better package on my data, I would.
I mean, who do you have?
Verizon.
Yeah, Verizon, that'd be pretty rough.
But I mean, I could set me and the old lady up on a plan for $120 a month that gave us unlimited internet, which would be fine.
Well, there you go.
But Verizon, their best speed out in rural areas is not super great. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not something I would want to share with 2 or 3 people.
Right.
Like, basically, I haven't given that part of it very damn much thought. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, don't go satellite. Satellite lags too much, is what they're saying in the chat. And it's true. Satellite is only like a little bit better than dial-up, but not by much. I mean, satellite's gotten better to where you got a stable download like you would with DSL, but the upload is awful. And that's the issue. When you're on a Hangout, you're not only downloading, but you're also uploading at the same time. Because it's the same method with radios. You're sending out a signal while you're also receiving a signal.
Yeah, well, that's probably part of why you can do, if you set your amateur radio stuff up, which I have done in the past, using a radio that's UHF, VHF both, and you can do full duplex, and it will broadcast and receive at the same time.
Another pitfall of satellite, if you have any sort of extreme weather like rain, sleet, snow, what else? Hail. Yeah, you're not going to get any service.
Believe me, if it comes to it, I can get cable down there. That's what I would do. I would go to cable internet because it's just pretty reliable and it's fast. But I don't know that that would be an option. It's going to be some sort of either cellular phone or some radio or satellite of some sort. And I wouldn't go satellite.
Do you know the area code for that area?
It was 314. But I don't know that it still is. Hang on, give me a minute.
Or the zip code?
No, I don't know zip code.
You don't know zip code?
It is 573 now.
It was 314 prior to January 7th, 1996.
Right, I lived down there in the 70s.
So this is in Missouri then.
Yes.
They have better gun laws, don't they?
Better than I got here.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, they have constitutional carry now.
Yeah, that no. I'm just checking to see something because I know of one thing you could probably get. It doesn't run off Verizon; it runs off of Sprint. But basically, have you ever heard of these like mobile routers?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah. Where you just hook it up to your computer via just Ethernet cable.
Yeah, I have one of those.
They've got ones that just connect to your to a cellular service and just give you internet.
I have one.
So,
unfortunately, where I'm at right now, it don't work very well.
I mean,
I never tried to put the sumbitch outside like I do my phone.
One service I use every so often when I need internet and I don't have internet is I've got one of these routers, which is provided by a company called Freedom Pop. They're off of a the Sprint network, and they give me decent internet. It's not great, but it's better than what I have.
I have one from, I think it's MobiGo. It was something that Walmart put together, basically. And it was not worth the money. Not at all. This day, as far as me using my cell phone as internet, when I spring for the data, the phone is fine. It's not nearly as fast as cable, but I don't really need it to be that damn fast because I'm not watching videos.
You're barely loading images.
Yeah, I don't really do much. I mean, I'll watch YouTube videos and shit with phone if I have data, but like it took me like 7 minutes to watch a 2-minute commercial this morning.
Steven's saying, "Don't laugh, guys," but my T-Mobile data is legit. They have updated the towers, and I get internet even when in the middle of nowhere hunting. I would do hangouts with my daughter, no problem. You can pull, 15 gigabytes and be just fine.
Well, that's why I don't host these shows, because I don't have the capability bandwidth wise to do it. I can't even watch the damn thing. Like, instead of being on this hangout to come in and watch the video in the webpage chat thing, I can't even watch those because it'll play for about 2 seconds and then load for 10. And after a few minutes, you're, 5 minutes lagging. I'll have to look and see if they got coverage down there and check that shit out, because that would be fine.
Steven says he's got 4G no throttle, so they don't throttle him down. He's got unlimited 4G, so you might want to check out T-Mobile's unlimited 4G, see if they got service in that area, because that might be something you might want to think about switching to.
Yeah, I got to be careful what I do, because either I'll have to have 2 plans, or the area I'm in right now is very, very tough. And Verizon's the only one I found that'll work for my house.
Right.
I've had Sprint. I had Nextel. My daughter had another one or two, and I can't remember what they were, but nothing but Verizon will work from where I'm at right now. That MobiGo thing didn't work for shit. And that was supposed to be partnered with Verizon. But like I said on that, I never put it outside the house like I do my phone.
Surprise, surprise.
But if, at the end of the day, if I can get cable put in down there, that's what I want. But I'll take whatever the fuck I can get.
Yeah. All right. So, what's going on now? It's 10:30. What does the agenda say?
Hell, I don't know. I can't open it and do this at the same time.
You don't have to. All right. So I guess we should do the gun series of the day.
Fine by me.
It's that time of day already. So let's get it out of the way. I can get ridiculed for it. So, not that I'm sure I won't get ridiculed for it, but whatever. All right. So we said we were going to do the X-Files. We have been doing the X-Files. We've been going through a season because there's a lot of them. So today is season 3 of the X-Files. We're going to go over the guns they have. So we're going to get into pistols first. One of the pistols they have in season 3 is the Smith & Wesson 5906. Looks pretty nice. Doesn't look too bad.
I'll let you know in a minute.
Yeah, when you load the image, right?
First, I got to get to the link. There we go.
So.
Yeah, that he says he got. Stephen said he got 36 download speed of 36.52 and upload of 1422.
That's
Back
pretty good.
When I had cable, I was getting uploads of above 100.
Well, remember, he's on
Down.
mobile data, and mobile data gets less speed than, wired.
Right, but what I'm saying is it pegged out the meter on the one I tested at 100. So I don't know where it was going, but it was doing like 40 upload, which was about twice what they advertised it would do.
Now, remember, kids, that's in megabits per second, not megabytes a second. So be warned, the two are different.
Divided by 8.
Now, there's the 5906 Smith & Wesson.
It looks like a white blank page to me.
Well, everybody else can see it. You can watch the video later. Then there's another one, which is a special one. I don't know why they need two of them, but whatever.
Well, one for Mulder, one for Scully.
Then there was the Sig Sauer pt3. Really good gun. Then there's the P226. I can see a trend here. Well, no, not a trend. In the 90s, didn't the Secret Service use a Sig?
Damned if I know.
I think so.
I think they were trying to get more authentic on the weapons in the third season.
Yeah. There's that French PPK again. It's about the only gun Scully can use. And there's the actual Walther PPK. And there's the Beretta 92 FS. All right.
I mean, let's be real here. They don't make these shows for gun nuts anyway.
No, they don't.
But I suspect they got lots of mail from viewers saying, hey, that ain't what they freaking used.
Then there's the Gen 2 Glock 17, like the Glock 17.
Hey, there it is.
There's the 1911 A1. All right. Great gun. Here's where they started getting more variations in. The Jericho 941R. So
Well, I'm trying to get to it.
It's a 9mm.
And, of course, I ain't got images yet. So.
Then there's the Taurus PT92 AFS nickel. I mean, the PT92 is good. All right, all you Ring of Fire enthusiasts, a Jennings Model 38. And there's an unknown Smith & Wesson automatic. Now we're down to Matt's favorites. Revolvers, the Taurus Model 66. Then the Ruger Speed 6 snub. 357. There's the Rossi Model 971 snub. That's an interesting one. Look at that barrel. All right, we're down to the submachine guns now. Tony, can you guess which one the first one is?
Some sort of Heckler & Koch. Hang on, I can scroll down.
Yeah, it's the MP5A3. From now on, when we're going through the seasons of the X-Files, the answer is always just going to be just like the MP5. It's almost always the MP5 first. And then there's that mock-up, the MP5K. Oh, check this out. The Ruger MP9. That's new and interesting. It looks like an amalgamation of a Ruger pistol and a Uzi or a Mach. Look at that.
Is it a real gun?
It's a real gun. Oh, it was created. It was created by the guy who made the Uzi. So that's why it looks a lot like an Uzi. The MP9 uses a telescoping bolt, but fires from a closed bolt instead of an open bolt. And it is a quick detachable magazine. Or quick detachable barrel that is spring-loaded to cushion the impact of the bolt on closure. Well, that's interesting. There's that. You wanted to see that one because that one's pretty cool. Hello, Smegs. Good morning. We're going over the Guns of the X-Files Season 3 today. All right, so where were we? We were going on submachine guns. What else? The Micro Uzi. Finally getting some Uzis in there. And then there's the Calico M955A. That gun is awful. Now, if you don't think it's awful, go out and shoot one. Or just listen to the firearm. Well, I hate to say this, but listen to the firearm blog review of that gun. And yeah, it just doesn't work. It doesn't like to work.
Evidently, it films good.
It films good, but that's about it. There's the MP5A2. So, all right, there's the Mach 10. Finally.
Mac 10.
Mac 10. There we go. Going after me for pronunciation. All right, fine. Now we're into rifles and carbines. It is carbine, right?
I don't care about carbines.
There, thanks.
Carbine, carbine, I don't give a shit.
All right, well, you got the Colt Model 715, which is an Olympic Arms K4B. You got the SP1 with the bird cage, not the three-prong, which is a mocked-up M16A2.
You've got mail.
There's the XM177. There's a custom A2. All right, there's the Remington 700 PSS. They use that one an awful lot in this series. Oh, here's a new one. Here's a good one.
I don't think I've seen this one before in the series.
The M14. arguably the best battle rifle of modern times. No, I can't really say that. I love the M14. I think it's a great rifle, but it's not better than the Grand. I'll give you that.
I was gonna say it ain't no grand.
It ain't no Grand, but I tell you what, the M14 was a great rifle in itself.
I would take a grand any day as long as they supplied me with the pack mule to carry the bullets.
Right. I would carry a Grand as long as I got M block clips. Right?
All over the place in Europe.
Yeah, just get a shovel, right?
There you go.
Get a shovel. There you go. All right. Then we're on the shotguns. And it's right about now that at this point in the series, they started using the Remington 870 more than, I guess, the Mossberg 500. But I bet you the next one's going to be, no, it's a Remington 870 Shorty Custom. There it is. Then there's that Mossberg 500 bullpup again. And the over-under double barrel shotgun. Oh, an Ithaca 37 Stakeout Custom. I wasn't expecting that one.
I bet you can barely expect a 37 on these kind of shows.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one by Frankie. A pt3 215. Now, is that like a modified SPOS 12 then? Because it looks a lot like a shortened SPOS 12. I'm going to do some research on this one. Because it looks a lot like the 12. Oh, yeah, it's made by the same company. It's got the folding stock, just like the SPOS 12, so who knows? Oh, this one's just a pump only? Yeah. All right. Then there's the Ithaca 37 Featherlight. I don't know why they call it Featherlight when it's longer than the normal 37. Then there's one of my favorites, the USAS 12 close quarter version. Now, the close quarter version isn't my favorite per se. I'm just a fan of the whole USAS 12 in itself. Just because of how, right there it's showing the drum magazine, but it also uses straight mags too. So. And they did have a proper SPOS 12 in here. There's a sawed-off side-by-side. Police station shotguns. A big assortment, I'd say. All right, now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. Machine guns now. Hey, Tony, I bet you can't guess what this one is.
Browning?
The Browning Modus.
I don't have to guess because I'm looking right at the,
Yeah.
the text.
Yeah. The Browning Modus. That's about it.
I
And
would
there's
probably choose that over the Grand, provided I got the truck, to haul the ammo with.
You'd also need the truck to have it mounted on.
That's what, yeah.
Because I'm not picking that thing up and carrying that. That's for damn sure. The only reason I'd carry one of those is if I had to and we were in a war. That's the only reason why you'd want to carry one of those things. You don't, because they're heavy as hell. So, all right. Well, that is it for season 3 of the X-Files. Stay tuned. Check back tomorrow for season 4. Yes, we're going through as many as we can. If you want to blame someone, blame Tony, because it was all his idea.
Yeah, it was me. I'll take credit or blame.
There's no there's no blame or credit in this one. It's just it is what it is.
I just happened to be watching the damn thing 3 weeks ago and noticed there's a lot of fucking guns in it.
There are. But there's a lot of guns in a lot of TV series. I mean, eventually, depending on what happens, I may even get Jimmy to cover Burn Notice at one point. There are a lot of guns in that one.
I've only got so many TV series here that I watch, and there ain't much in the way of guns in Star Trek. I think maybe 2.
Yeah, you've got your standard phaser rifle, and then you've got your standard hand phaser.
No. I'm talking Smith & Wesson Model 10.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
On the Amusement Planet, whatever, Shorely is the episode, I believe. No, that's not right.
Oh, you're talking the Shatner Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek, not the Next Generation or any of the others. Sulu finds a Smith & Wesson Model 10, it looks like to me. Right off the top of my head, that's the only... Oh, no, there was one where they did a Star Trek remake of the OK Corral where there was a few revolvers in that one, too. Maybe a Winchester, I don't know. Yeah, Walking Dead's got a lot of fucking guns.
Yeah, but
That might be one to cover, but hell, they talked about that one enough already.
yeah, they talk about it enough on Match Chat. I'm not in any hurry.
Me neither. I watched 4 seasons of it, and then I just couldn't watch anymore.
All right. Do.
Hey, I'm going to be back here in a minute. I need to get something to snack on.
All right, go for it.
All right. What are we supposed to do now? No idea. It's open topic. Someone jump in and talk to us. I don't have a topic. I just don't.
Cheerios.
All right, Cheerios.
Gotta have something.
Yep. All right. I will be right back. Tony, since you have Cheerios, you just watch the chat and comment on it, and I'll be right back.
All right. Let me see. Hang on a second here. Look and see if anything interesting is popping up in the news. Probably not. But see, California's sworn in pro-gun foe, Xavier Becerra, as California's Attorney General. That doesn't bode well for them. Yeah, I had seen where he was supposed to, but up on the news yet. Let me see. That's depressing. I'm looking at the California Attorney General's the added so far, and that's not very good. Pro gun control. And the Huffington Post's Mike the Gun Guy says Trump wants to repeal Obamacare so he can come after your guns. Because the Affordable Care Act had a provision in it to prevent doctors from asking you about guns. Trump's wanting to end it so he can come and get your guns. But the thing is, this moron isn't mentioning is that one of Obama's last executive orders was to strike that from Obamacare and make it to where doctors can or should ask you for if you have guns in your home. I read that a couple of days ago. I don't remember the exact text of it, but Obama's already taken that argument away. Thank you.
What's up, Tony?
Not much. I'm just sitting here wondering how this idiot gets the title of gun guy when he wouldn't know a gun if it shot him in the ass.
Who's the gun guy?
The gun guy for the Huffington Post.
I don't know who you're talking about, but
Look up Mike the gun guy on Huffington Post.
I know that. I know who the fuck that is. Yeah, fuck him.
He's saying that Trump wants to, so he can come and get your guns.
Trump wants to dump Obamacare so he can get your guns.
Yep.
Trump wants to get your guns.
Yep. And he wants to dump Obamacare to do it because Obamacare blocks it.
I'm very confused, but it's not the first time that something from the Huffington Post confuses me.
The Huffington Post in itself should be enough to end the confusion. It's just a freaking liberal rag.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to why they're suddenly worried about taking people's guns away when they're all for it usually.
They're not. They're worried about inciting enough fear to get everybody in the country to oppose Trump.
Yeah, I don't think the pro-gun people are really the audience of the Huffington Post. So good luck with that, dudes. Jeez.
Oh, I
Well-
bet you a lot more gun guys pay attention to that than you'd think.
Well,
None
I don't
none
like-
of us
I
would be
don't like-
considered fans.
I don't like a lot of things about Trump, but I don't think gun policy is going to be one of the things I'm not going to like him for. It's a really weird world out there, by the way. I sent my resume to a company, and they scheduled an interview with me online. Like
Okay.
I don't need to go anywhere. Like I have a job interview at my house. Do I dress up for that? Do I not? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I would dress like I was going to an interview if it's a webcam interview.
Right? Or I could put like the camera on the table and just wear like news anchors do.
Yeah.
I actually know a girl that did that for a job interview, and then something like fell, and she had to pick it up, and she was wearing like Batman sweatpants or something like that. And the dude that was interviewing her just started laughing. And she was wearing like a nice button shirt on top, and fucking pajamas under under the table.
Did you get the job?
Yeah.
Well, that may be a route to go then.
He thought it's funny. Nah, I'll just dress up. Whatever. I'm just happy to have some interviews finally. Like I got a call in the morning about a job, and now I got this. So, at least I feel like, chances are out there.
Angry said, so she was Bruce Wayne on top and Batman on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So what kind of jobs are you getting replies on?
Well, this is some sort of like customer service job, but like online that you can do from work for some company. I don't even know what they do. I mean, I posted on Facebook I'm looking for work, and some like a fellow libertarian from Israel was like, "Hey, how about this? Can you do customer service from home? Do you speak English?" I'm like, "Yeah, I speak English." He's like, "Cool. I'll give you an email. Send them your resume. So they I mean, I sent the email yesterday. They sent me an email today, like, please schedule an online interview. I'm like, cool. So that's one. And the job in the morning is security screening at the border pass with Jordan. So two completely different things.
Yeah, that customer service thing is kind of one of the lowest common denominator jobs here, I think.
I don't know exactly what it is because it looks like I need to hear what they're paying and what the job entails, because it's not like, I'm not sure it's exactly customer service, whatever. It's like, it's hard to know because they give fancy names to everything these days, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Because
there was
the job description is customer success manager. But, you know,
there was a big thing here for a while about companies that would set up and do customer service, but other companies outsource, and they just hired a shitload of people to go and sit in a bunch of damn phones, and that's all they did. It was
yeah,
super
that's not
stressful job.
that's not really it. I mean, I don't think this is what it is. It's the company is called Schedule Once, and it's like an online scheduling system for companies, for businesses. And I don't think it's like one of those, you know, it's not like customer service for a cell phone company or something like that, you know, for a, so we'll see. I mean, I you know, I'll know immediately. You know, I'll know when they'll tell me how much they pay. I'll know where that sits on the. And plus, I mean, if they pay as much as the job that, you know, as the security job, and all I need to do is sit at home and help people with like the product instead of driving an hour to the border passing and fucking, you know, giving body cavity searches to people from Jordan.
I'd be down at the border.
Ah, jeez. You just don't want to. You just don't want to deal with people nicely. That's why.
No, it's not a good thing to stay at home too much.
Oh yeah, that is a thing. You're right about that. But you know, I don't know. I need to talk to them. Like I'm at the point where I don't have a job for so long, and I'm looking so hard that I'm willing to consider every possibility and, you know, just check it out. Like I told the people at the border security job, and I was like, yeah, you know, like, tell me when to come over because I want to see the place, and, you know, you should like see me, and let's see if, because they basically offered two jobs. One of them pays a hell of a lot more. Like one of them pays almost twice the minimum wage in Israel, which is a lot for an entry level job. But I can't do that job. I'm too, you know, I'm past that because you need 5 weeks fucking training. Like it's like fucking going to boot camp again. I'm not doing that. I don't think I can hack it physically, and I can't disappear from home for 5 weeks. I should have done that when I was 24 and I could actually run because, you know, she was like, well, there are two jobs available right now. One is the security guard, like basically the security officers, and one is the screeners. And, you know, the screeners get less money. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think I can do this, like the course for like the training for security guard right now. He's like, why? How fast can you run 3,000 yards? I'm like, well, I'll probably run the first 500 pretty fast, and I'll need an ambulance for the rest of them. So I'll probably like get there first.
You could time me with the sundial.
Yeah, man, I'm not into running now.
Me
That's
neither.
one of the main reasons I carry a gun is I can't run very fast anymore.
You and me both, man.
I don't think that if I get the if I end up in the job on the border, I don't think I can carry my gun to work. That's a problem. Because you can't the people that are doing the actual like physical, checking of people, you can't have them armed. That's a problem. Because you don't want someone while you're like, fucking patting them down, trying to grab your gun. So the way they do it is the people that are doing the patting down are unarmed, and then you have someone standing on the peripheral there, shoot the motherfucker if you need to.
Yeah, that's to be expected, actually.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. I'm not gonna even argue with it. It's absolutely reasonable. I mean, maybe I can get like a really deep concealment holster, so no, my gun isn't at risk. And plus, they don't want you when they have places that have highly trained security. They usually don't want other people with guns there during a shootout because a lot of the times they're fucking. Their way of dealing with things is okay. Only we're supposed to have guns here. Everyone else who's like packing is obviously not playing on our team. We'll shoot him and ask questions later. So
That is a risk you run into with carrying guns.
yeah, but I understand like the airport in Israel. You can't carry a gun into the airport in Israel, and the reason is, and I talked to people from the security there, is it's much easier for them to deal with a shooting inside the terminal when they know only they have guns. So it's them and the bad guys. Everybody else that has a gun except for them, they shoot. Makes sense.
Angry is asking if they had lock boxes where you could lock it up while you're working.
Oh, I'm sure they'll have like somewhere to put it. Yeah, I'm not gonna drive there and back on the road that goes right next to the fucking Jordanian border without my gun. We'll see. It's all early. I mean, before I even interview there, I'll ask. I always ask. I don't. People are like, don't tell people, don't tell the employers that you're carrying. Just conceal it and that's it. I'm like, yeah. And then 1 week into starting to work there, they're gonna, I'm gonna reach for a top shelf or something, and oh, you got a gun? You can't bring that here. Yeah, I'm not about that. I just tell them. I'm like I told people at the hotels and shit, I can get a more concealed holster that nobody will ever see the gun when I'm at the hotel, but I'm not gonna come to work without a gun. Unless they're providing fucking, counter-terrorists, fucking security guards to guard me all day, and then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, fat chance.
Oh well, you see, at the border crossing job, there are actually armed people like standing right next to you, watching your ass all day. So that's fine. I don't have a problem with locking my gun in some locker there for the shift and then taking it out. And I don't even need them to give me a locker. I have my fucking gun box. I can just bring it with me and put it in some cabinet there and lock it. And hello, Night Strike.
And hi. I just got back and I got bad news.
What happened?
I have an emergency that I have to go take care of, so I do not know how long it's going to take. But I'm going to be away from the computer for an extended amount of time. What happens when this happens, Tony? Do I just leave it on?
Shut it down. If somebody wants to continue talking, they can start a lobby.
All right. So I'm sorry, everyone, but I have an emergency that I got to take care of. So I'll.
Oh, whatever, dude. Good luck with whatever it is. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Close her out, and somebody can start a lobby.
Yeah, I'll go out.
Go start a lobby, guys. Sorry.
Take care of stuff, man.
All right. I'll see you guys later. I hope this doesn't happen again tomorrow, but hopefully not.
Just good luck, man.
All right. See you guys later.